2006 Superside FIM Sidecar World Championship moves into the second half of the season. And after the excitement in Germany last time, this time we're across the border to the picturesque setting of the Salzburgring in Austria. Well, after the first 4 rounds of the season, the championship standings look like this. Tim and Tristan Reeves hold a 13-point lead from the Finns Tero Mannanen and Pekka Koismanen, with Andy Laidlaw and Patrick Farrance there in third position. This Salzburgring track is 2.64 miles per lap. Very fast, 112 miles an hour average, the lap record set last year. Number 11, the local favourite, Jos Moser, and his Swiss passenger Ule Waffler qualified a superb second position on the grid. But on pole position once again it was the reigning world champions, number 77, Tim and Tristan Reeves. Very tight in qualifying, the first 5 teams covered by less than half a second. Sebastian Delanoy third fastest in practice, but we asked Jos Moser, could he win the race?
Ja, ich denke schon. Es ist alles möglich. Wir haben eine gute Position geschaffen.
Well, Jos just explaining he thinks he's got a good chance, qualified very well, and well, he likes the circuit. Well, with qualifying being so tight, the long run into the first chicane could provide some incident. We asked Tim.
If Moses left his brain in his toolbox, then I would imagine it'll be airy, but if he's sensible about it, it'll be all right, I think.
So with the first big race of the day lined up, this is the sprint race, 10 laps. Heavy rain earlier on in the day has left the track a little bit greasy, so it'll be interesting to see who indeed does make that first corner. Well, they're all moving off the start line. Looks like Reeves has got a good start, but where is Moser? That's going to be the good question, and there he is, just in front of our race cam, Richard Gatt and Paul Randall.
Yeah, and it looks like Sebastian Delanoy got the whole shot there, and well, that's Tero Mannanen going past Gatt and Randall. Big lock up into this first tight chicane. And it is indeed number 91, Delanoy. Reeves got through into second position at the chicane as they all funnel their way through. Number 45, Andy Percy, and Ryan Charwood bringing up the rear.
So all safely through that first part, and they're beginning to bunch up already, but already it's Tim Reeves that's there in second place as the rest of the field just secure themselves in their necessary positions. They line themselves up as they head up the long back hill section. They're on board with Tom and Ben Birchall, the number 16 outfit, looking back, and as you can see, it's pretty quick. Circuit still dry at the moment, so that early rain making it a little slippery, so a choice of tiles really was quite important. But nevertheless, 112 miles per hour average speed limit around here, so it's a very, very quick circuit, the Salzburgring.
Yeah, and one the drivers really love as well. It's an old style circuit, not too many chicanes, but as they come through the S's to complete lap 1, very tight at the front. Moser there in third place, Andy Laidlaw going through shot, and there's Stuart Muldoon and Mike Rocher and Adolf Harney behind them. So the top 10 all line astern. And that looks like Ben and Tom Birchall pulling out of Rocher's slipstream. Indeed it is. We go straight past Steve Norbury, Scott Parnell on the blue machine behind. And they're going to go past Rocher as well into this dead stop chicane. That works the brakes hard.
They're lucky to get through there. Then Rocher may have a problem of some kind. Don't know, seem to have slowed up just a little bit there. But
well, there's the local favourite, Jos Moser. Big following here from the Austrian crowd. He's sitting there in third position at the moment. Now Tim and Tristan Reeves right in the slipstream of Delanoy, back with Ben and Tom Birchall. Norbury just dropping back a little bit as they come up here, 155, 160 miles an hour up this hillside, straight past Stuart Muldoon and Paul Napton. Well, I'm surprised at that. Muldoon, normally very quick engine, but the Birchall boys had him on power there.
Very picturesque circuit here in a valley. It is, seems to have its own weather front as well, much like Knock Hill. But some changes going on here as we look off the outfit of Gatt and Randall. Who's that?
Well, that one's smoking a tyre. It's got to be Andy Laidlaw, isn't it?
It's got to be Andy Laidlaw.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 together. Andy Laidlaw there in sixth position now, so really making up time going past Gatt and Randall as we saw from the onboard. Now this again is Richard Gatt down the fast front straight away. Have we gone? No, I thought we were going to go past Andy Laidlaw, but he's just held the inside line. Now Laidlaw really on a mission, qualified badly, pretty much as normal for Andy Laidlaw, and having to do all the work in the race to try and get up with the leading group.
Yeah, if only he could get a better qualifying time and get a better position on that grid, I'm fairly sure he'd stand a very good chance of possibly running first, second, third at each round of the series. But hey-ho, doesn't get the qualifying time, gets a bad grid position for start, and then has to work his way through. Back on board with the two Birchall boys.
Yeah, and look at this run up the hill, and look at the guardrails very closed in up here, it does feel like. And this Stuart Muldoon again. Well, Muldoon's machine definitely not running on top speed, is it? And it looks like Steve Norbury going up the inside of us, just out of camera shot.
It's not like Stuart to be overtaken so easily, but whatever that problem is, it's not a problem with his brakes. You can see him closing up on this outfit in front, under braking, but he's under pressure now by, I think that is the 55 outfit alongside him.
Yeah, and Bigfoot Tom Birchall getting his leg in the way of the camera there, but Tim and Tristan Reeves slipped through into the lead. So they've demoted Sebastian Delanoy to second position, Jos Moser, and that looks like Tero Manninen in fourth position, ready to pounce on the Frenchman as well.
They're queuing up for this one at the moment. There's a queue, what, 5 of them all looking for the lead. Whether Tim was going to really relinquish it, I very much doubt it. But under pressure again, oh,
and they're all bunching up, and that looked like Pekka Pivarinta through into third position. So Manninen a bit slow on the brakes, and Andy Laidlow's on the back of this leading group now as well. So we've got a train of 6 machines for the lead, and Richard Gatt and Paul Randall not too far behind. Andy Laidlaw up the inside of Tero Manninen there, moving up a place, just ran a little bit wide on that looping carousel corner, but through into 5th position now, Laidlaw. And you can still see some of the damp patches on the track. Further down the field, number 17, Frenchman Mark Barr, doing well, just in the top 15 there, I think, at the moment.
We've seen an input of new riders for this year's series, which is only good because the grid is growing rapidly year by year as the popularity of FIM World Sidecar races increases. But this is that battle out front, Moser. And it's
Moser going up into second position, and they're all swapping places left, right, and centre. And there's Laidlaw and Manninen all together there. But Tim and Tristan Reeves now just stretching a bit of an advantage as these other 5 machines fight amongst themselves, giving Richard Gatt and Paul Randall a chance just to close a little bit on the back of Andy Laidlaw again. Start finish straight under the Red Bull Bridge, 150 miles an hour down here into this 20 miles an hour chicane that they're approaching now.
Well, the man to look out for, I think, is Andy Laidlaw. They're getting this really sideways on coming out of that chicane, and it is a tight part of the track, but here they come.
Yeah, Pivarinta there in third position, Delanoy in fourth, and Manninen. Laidlaw, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear.
2 into 1 just doesn't go, unfortunately, not the width of these things.
No, and there's, well, some damage there to Andy Laidlaw. That's the sidecar wheel arch come off. So that'll be Andy Laidlaw's race done, and that's stretched them out a little bit. But Moser now closing right in on Tim and Tristan Reeves. Richard Gatt and Paul Randall, that's Manninen in front of us. He's slowed right down, so as he sustained some damage in that impact as well. Well, let's have a look at it again. Manninen turns in, yes. Laidlaw, well, I don't know. I wouldn't like to say there was a real gap there for Andy Laidlaw to try and go through, but he was trying anyway.
Was Manninen aware that he was actually there? Because he just didn't seem to want to back off that at all.
I don't think he was, and that's Andy Laidlaw pulling into pit lane, and Manninen has got, yeah. Well, that's given Manninen a puncture, that impact. Disaster for the man that lies second in the series, and of course Andy Laidlaw lying third in the series. So second and third out of this race.
Words may be spoken between those two in the pits, I feel.
Definitely from Tero Manninen.
And surely, after we saw the display on the podium where he wouldn't shake hands with Tim Reeves.
So Sebastian Delanoy and Remy Guinard there in third. That's Ben and Tom Birchall behind Steve Norbury and Scott Parnell. So this battle raging on throughout the race as well. Oh, that's Mike Roscher out.
Yeah.
Roscher and Hanny out. Disaster for the German-Swiss pairing. But moves Ben and Tom Birchall up a position, and behind that's the green machine, Stuart Muldoon, just getting breezed past by somebody else.
One has to think that Stuart may have some kind of misfire or something there on the machine, because he just doesn't seem to have that top end power.
No, it looks like it's losing about 10 miles an hour, doesn't it? But not on this machine. The number 77, Eastern Airways, LCR Suzuki out front. Jos Moser a little wide into that left hand that just gave Pekka Pivarinta a chance to catch up, and that is Bill Philp and Rick Long on the second of the Team Hanny machines in front of Muldoon and chasing after Ben and Tom Birchall now.
But it's still the two Reeves brothers, the defending champions, that lead this as a swap in second place now. The 44 machine has gone through. Moser down to third place, but looks like Muldoon has found himself a couple of miles per hour.
Only on the brakes, which he probably didn't use.
No, it's true. No, it's Stewart.
Well, there's some impact damage on the side of Moser's machine there, I noticed, so quite hectic in this leading group as well as further down through the field. Steve Norbury, Ben Birchall, there is Bill Philp and Rick Long on that immaculate Hanny racing machine. And here's the battle lower down the order. Frenchman Mark Barr and number 9 is Thomas Fuchel and Yuri Perchelek, the Czech riders behind. And they're scrapping for the final World Championship points in this sprint race, and that's close as they come out of there and run up the hill.
That's a power drag, but it's still Reeves that leads this one on the 77 outfit, the defending champion, the two brothers. They have it at the moment, and well, looks like they've got it. Yes, indeed. Checkered flag made ready. It's Tim and Tristan Reeves that win the sprint race here in Austria.
Yeah, and that looked like Moser just hanging on to third position. Here's the battle further down for 7th, 8th and 9th, and it looks like Steve Norbury and Scott Parnell are going to get that. Well, results confirmed. Tim and Tristan Reeves, Pekka Pivarinta, Timo Cardiala. Jos Moser indeed got third position in his first ever World Championship podium on his home circuit. Delanoy in 4th.
Yeah, the race was very good. Yeah, close. We got a fairly good start, but then it sort of bogged. And we had Delanoy come up the inside, and Moser got back by, but then we managed to get in the lead and just hold like half a second gap, which was luckily just enough so they couldn't get in the slipstream. So yeah, it was a good race.
Highlights of the main race still to come.
Well, the weather here at the Salzburgring taking a real bad turn for the worst. Heavy rain causing a severe delay to the gold race for the sidecars. The FIM inspected the track, delayed the event for a couple of hours, but in the end everybody did get onto the start line. And once again, Tim and Tristan Reeves on that pole position.
I'm not quite sure whether this is a game of jet skiing or whether it's sidecar racing at the moment with the conditions out there. It's very wet. Wet tyres, of course, the order of the day for all the outfits. Anybody running on slicks out there will be more than a brave man. I think he'd be a rather foolish man. Wet weather kit, umbrellas up, so we're going to get the race underway. The rain has eased off for a little bit now. In fact, it's stopped, so the circuit's still very wet and will be slippery from the earlier races, but you can see the spray coming off the back tyres of these outfits as they power up and spin off the line. Of course, if we get a dry line coming now, those wet tyres are going to chew up a little bit.
Yeah, for sure, the rain has stopped, but it is still very wet, as you can see from the onboard shot there, and the spray and the mist hangs around in these trees as well, so I don't think we're going to get it dried out. And that's Fuchel, and Fuchel and Mark Barr didn't make the chicane there, so well, that was close as well. Luckily they didn't seem to take anybody else out. Somebody else coming up the slip road from the chicane.
That's probably them.
Moser going slow as well, so maybe he's had a little trip off as they all gingerly get round the second corner here at the carousel. Andy Laidlow well down the field, as is Gary and Dan Knight.
That was almost a fender bend.
Oh, we did have one upside down. That's well, that's Mark Barr, the Frenchman.
That's the guy that went flying off, I think.
Yeah, for sure. And well, Mark Barr once again, first corner incident. And here we have a look again. Can we see from the outside camera shot? Well, that's Moser going up Slip Road. Andy Laidlow going up Slip Road. There's Fuchel going sideways into the chicane. But we didn't really see what happened to Mark Barr. And there's Fuchel coming back again. So
brakes are very good things, but on conditions like this, they don't do an awful lot of good because there's no adhesion to the ground.
No, for sure. And that's, well, Sebastian Delanoy leads. Pekka Pivarinta in second as they come through. Jos Moser in, well, further down the field behind Ben and Tom Birchall. So the local crowd favourite finding himself mired down in mid-pack at the moment. Can he repeat his podium from race 1 from this far down the field?
Well, our onboard camera showing exactly how wet it is out there, and well, let's hope it keeps working throughout the event.
Oh, Moser late on the brakes into the chicane, didn't quite get a gap there to go through. Up over the gravel a bit as well. And listen to the wheel spin on that Suzuki. But here's the two Finns, Tero Mannanen and Pekka Pivarinta battling. They like these conditions, the Finns. We saw that in the opening round at the Schleiz circuit in Germany. Tim and Tristan Reeves, they're down in 4th position. Tim having a look over just to see whether there's anybody close behind him. And there's Thomas Fuchel, well, back on track after his spin. John and Gregory Clues going through, as is Thomas Nagel and Michael Hildebrand. Another wild card appearance for the German pair there.
I tend to think this is going to be a race of the brave, and I'm sure the two Finns do not want to take each other off, but Reeves will be starting to challenge, I think, fairly soon as he gets his head around the conditions of the circuit. Meanwhile, there is a little bit of action further on down the field.
Yeah, it looks like Jos Moser making his way through after that first corner incident, up past Steve Norbury and Scott Parnell now. On board with Bigfoot Birchall as they come into the S's. That's, well, Martin and Tony Van Gils. Tony Van Gils making his return this season after breaking his foot in a pre-season accident. This is his first race of the year. And, well, they're going all right at the moment in these conditions. On board with the race leader. Well, he was the race leader.
Well, not anymore. I reckon, return to racing, should have brought his flippers back with him.
Yeah,
Mind
sure.
you, this is quite typical Austrian weather, isn't it, in the mountains here?
Well, it does seem to be when we arrive. Ben and Tom Birchall into the chicane, and that looks like, well, bouncing across the chicane. Billy Yauros and Johnny Briggs on the number 3 machine. The Swede, he normally likes the wet conditions as well. So, Martin and Tony Van Gils ahead of Ben and Tom Birchall with Gauros. Whoa, where's Van Gils going?
Oh! That was almost a fender bender.
Well, luckily everybody seemed to get away with that one, didn't they? But that's delayed Ben and Tom Birchall. They lost about 4 places there in that incident. So very lucky not to get collected was Martin and Tony Van Gils. But out front now, Pekka Pivarinta and Timo Kartiala. 2nd position, their teammates Tero Mannanen and Pekka Koismanen. And Reeves looking to put a move on Sebastian Delanoy. So the Frenchman now slipping back down through the order after that great start.
I think Reeves needs to be moving because he does not want to let these two Finns get too far away in these conditions. Reeves, you can see, trying everything he can up the inside as he made it. Yes, cleanly through from Tim Reeves, no contact.
No, that was a good manoeuvre, especially through the puddles there. And we're on board with Delanoy looking at Tim and Tristan. Well, not looking at them now because they're alongside us. So Delanoy's machine seems to be finding the speed and the grip down the straight, but Reeves, late on the brakes into the chicane, holds that 3rd position.
Oh, you got it through. Oh, well, he used all of the track and a little bit more, I think, but has he lost the pace now coming out of the corner? I think he has.
Yeah, and that's Delanoy back past Tim, Tristan Reeves. So a little trip across the gravel, demoting Tim and Tristan back to 4th position. Well, they'll have to regroup and try again. Now,
up the inside goes Tim.
Side by side.
Time to swap recipes, I think.
And there is Martin and Tony Van Gils recovering from their semi-spin a lap earlier.
Great control, I have to say. Great control.
Martin, a former motocross rider, so probably felt at home there.
Yeah, he's quite used to going round in circles.
Well, here's the battle for 3rd position, and Delanoy, Tim approaching very quickly into this long looping paddock corner. That looks like Mike Rocher and Adolf Harney behind as well, so Rocher making good in these conditions.
I tend to think that maybe Delanoy is holding up Reevesy at the moment, but these two at the front are getting away, the two Finns, the teammates. He's having another go, same place as before.
And he's made it work as well this time again. Nice and clean out of the corner. Can Delanoy use the speed of that French Suzuki engine? Well, he does seem to be gaining on Tim and Tristan. Pekka Pivarinta and Timo Kartiala. Kartiala, of course, brought in after the 2nd round to replace the injured Aki Alto from Castle Coombe.
Well, Stuart Muldoon here with Gat. That's one way through, I suppose. Bumper cars, Dodgem style. I'm sure Gat's not going to put up with that from the Scot.
No, two very hard riders there.
Oh, will it come again? This could all end up with fists at dawn. Oh, he's through on the inside.
Oh, nice clean manoeuvre from Stuart that time around. And big slide from Richard Gat. Just out wide there, got into the slippery stuff. So Stuart Muldoon, the Rainmeister. What's Rainmeister in Scottish?
I like it wet, Jimmy, probably.
Ben and Tom Birchall there, trying to make up ground, going past Milan Spendel and Mark Pickering, the Slovenian rider with his English passenger. So Ben and Tom Birchall on the recovery after the Van Gils incident.
Still no dry line beginning to show on the circuit, so that just gives you some idea of the extent of water that we've had prior to this race with that delay. Delanoy now we're on board with the Frenchman. Oh, he's overcooked that one, Ian.
Oh yeah, it didn't make the chicane there, did he? Had to come off the brakes and go straight on through the slip road. But Pekka Pivarinta and Timo Kartiala revelling in these awful conditions. And well, I'm surprised he hasn't got slicks on, to be honest.
Make it sound like it always rains in Finland.
Well, they just seem to be so good in slippery conditions, don't they?
Well, I suppose something to do with the snow and the ice, you know. I suppose much the same, really, isn't it?
Well, you'd expect Stuart to be leading them, wouldn't you, really?
That's true, lives in Scotland.
Delanoy, third position. Once again, overcooking the chicane. Well, something wrong with the brakes on that machine of Sebastian Delanoy. Having to take that tiny little slip road back onto the track, and Tim and Tristan Reeves there going past. They weren't far behind Delanoy after their incident earlier. So now Reeves third position, Delanoy, well, that was a slow trip through the gravel, so he's lost a lot of ground to Tim and Tristan Reeves now. I think that sees the brothers secure in that third position. But up the front it is still Pekka Pivarinta and Timo Kartiala pulling away. Slight dry line beginning to appear on the track now, but it's not going to worry these tyres at all. As the race comes into the closing stages, there's Tim and Tristan Reeves in that third position, and they're beginning to gain some ground on second place. Well, where's Pivarinta going?
Shortcut, that's not allowed. Well, I can say one thing, he won't gain any advantage from that because he's currently in the lead.
Cool, won't gain any advantage, do some harm to that front suspension, that's for sure.
Well, he's got away with it. And Mike Roche there on the 55 outfit.
Yeah, they've gone past Richard Gatt and Paul Randall.
There's definitely a dry line beginning to show up on some of these corners. Here comes
well, that's
Reevesy
Mannanen and Reeves, so this is the battle for second position now. Tim, in the final stages of this race, his tyres seem to be working better. And well, yeah, Mannanen's sliding all over the place, so maybe he has got a problem with that rear Yokohama. As they take the run up the hill, can Tim and Tristan get into the slipstream?
Oh!
Bill Philp just hitting Nagel there.
He's off and stopped.
Oh dear.
But at least it was a soft stop.
Well, unfortunate there for Nagel and Hildebrand. Bill Philp just collecting them on the way into the chicane. Second position, Mannanen still holding off Tim and Tristan Reeves.
Well, Reeves is definitely determined. I hope we're not going to see a repeat performance of last time between these two, but Reeves is going round the outside, so as you say, those tyres a little bit better, I think, than the man he's just overtaken.
Final corner for Pekka Pivarinta and Timo Kartiala. Well, they dominated this race from about lap 4, and a superb win for the finished pair.
Checkered flag goes out then, and it is Pivarinta then that takes the win.
Tim and Tristan Reeves got through into second, Mannanen held on for third, Jos Moser fourth, and Delanoy after leading in fifth. Well, the championship standings look like this. Tim and Tristan Reeves extend their advantage now to 42 points over Tero Mannanen. Pekka Pivarinta with that win moves up to third position ahead of a luckless Andy Laidlow. In the team standings, Team Suzuki Finland extend their lead over the Team Eastern Airways squad. 5 wins apiece for both those two top teams.
Well, as the marshals try to warm themselves up here in the rain, we're off to Rijeka and Croatia for the next round for Super Sidecar Racing. Hope to see you there.